Parkinson's disease is a chronic degenerative condition which kills the neurotransmitters in the brain so that it can't send clear messages to the body. There is no cure. I was flying over Sydney in a giant dog. Things look bad. It's pretty amazing that that's even there. Michael Dransfield said himself that the hardest thing to be in Australia is a poet. Michael Dransfield's dead, of course, but I'm not. My name is Richard, and I've got Parkinson's disease. You can call me Dick. Dick Trembles. I'm on my way to Melbourne for an operation. Deep Brain Stimulation. Dick Tremor and the Deep Brain Stimulation. Getting admitted was like arriving backstage on an opening night. This was going to be big, and I guess I was pretty nervous. My mother Margaret, my girlfriend Kate, and my old mates Tim and Jan came to wish me well. And I'm very, very grateful for their love and support. I was born in 1950 in Brisbane, Australia. I grew up in outback Queensland with my parents Max and Margaret and my younger brother David. David died when he was 17, which hit us all pretty hard. I went to acting school and then got into the film and television industry. I got serious about acting. I went overseas. Made a living as an actor and lived the life of an actor. Life was good. Then I got married to Julie and life got better. Had children, 2 girls, Lucy and Bonnie. In retrospect, these were the happiest days of my life. Then I got Parkinson's, and everything fell apart. You don't really notice it for about the first 5 years. I mean, there is a symptom or two, like in my case, my left arm didn't swing when I walked. And I went to a doctor about another matter, cold or something, flu. I said, oh, by the way, my left arm doesn't swing. And this particular doctor, girl, lady, was freaked out slightly. She thought I had a stroke. And so I went, bundled me off immediately to the specialist, Dr. Joffe in St Leonard's. And he just said it probably could be or is Parkinson's disease, which sort of blew me out of the water a bit.
He's taken shape in a long round arch. His part high above and has 2 ends apparently beyond the line. It is according to legend the boiling part of God that waned. People look but no one ever finds it.
In Australia there are about 100,000 people with Parkinson's disease. There are about 1 million in America. This is the highest per capita rate anywhere. There are about 10 to 15 million Parkinson sufferers in the whole world. When you're an actor, your body is your tool. If your tool's breaking down, you can't work. You can't earn a living and you can't express yourself. You need a tool job. How much do I owe you?
Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, look after yourself, Richard.
I could get hysterical at this point. The sun's very warm on the head. I started acting professionally in the early 70s. Since then I've worked on about 30 feature films and countless TV series. The place is going to be a breeze after this. The first feature film I worked on was 27A, back in 1973. It was also Esmond Storm's first feature.
My name's Richard.
Five years later I did In Search of Anna, again with Esmond. And 5 years after that, there was Wrong World, Ian Pringle. This was a time of renaissance for the Australian film industry. It was a very exciting time. I wish I could remember it. In the late 80s, Esbert and I got back together for the first series of Round the Twist. I finally got a chance to do comedy.
Miss James, how can I help?
Wouldn't have a cup of sugar, would you?
Come in.
I've had the Parkinson's for nearly 14 years now. You don't really notice it for the first 5 years, then you do. And so does everybody else, which is a problem if you happen to be an actor. The last series of Round the Twist, I had tremor really badly in a lot of scenes, which was like Michael J. Fox syndrome, hiding the symptoms.
Tony?
I got 3 of them.
My left arm wouldn't cooperate, so I'd put it in my pocket, on my head or hold it.
10 minutes.
Sometimes it'd just dangle there. The comedy I'd been enjoying so much wasn't so funny anymore.
What is that smell?
When they came back for a third series, I found another actor with curly hair to play my part.
Look at my car.
That wasn't funny at all.
Not here yet either.
One morning I found I could not, mouth just wouldn't work. I just couldn't get them. It was like frozen and I couldn't speak. That was a very frightening thing. So it wasn't actually, it was a slow blow, it wasn't a big whack, it was just sort of slow. You wake up sort of 5 years later and think, oh shit, I used to be an actor, I used to get acting job. The last time I did any work in front of the camera was when I went to do a series of tests. I went off all the drugs so the doctors could get a true record of what I was really like. This is what it's like without the drugs. This is me in my natural state, totally in the grip of the disease. I can barely walk, barely move my hands. I can hardly speak.
Stand straight up.
Most acting roles require a slightly broader range of expression and a little bit more control. Some don't, of course. Eventually, none of the drugs actually work. Eventually, if you just keep going without any treatment, you just end up stopping and that'll be it. They say people die of Parkinson's disease, they just die of starvation, because they can't actually pick up a fork to get it to their mouth. Every day begins something like this. I might look like I'm sleeping, or maybe even like I'm dead. But I'm actually quite awake. I just can't open my eyes or move my body. It's all frozen. It can take up to an hour to get my body to start moving. Sometimes you have to get someone to roll you over, which is a bit difficult if there's no one there. Room service. I'm using every ounce of energy to get myself up onto the side of the bed. My brain knows what to do, but it can't communicate the instructions to my body. It's like being trapped or locked away inside yourself. You're calling out, but you can't hear. I'm telling my eyes to open, but they can't hear me either, so I have to force them open. You have to let them know who's in charge. Just when I feel as if I'm getting somewhere, it gets worse. Hell freezes over. In this case, it's my face that locks into what is a painful cramp. Lockjaw, headlock, call it what you will. Actually, it's called a dystonia, from the ancient Greek word meaning face ache or severe pain in the arse.
Good morning. How are you today? Very well, thank you.
Sometimes if I eat an orange or watermelon, it tricks the brain into relaxing those taut, tight face muscles. It's a wonderful feeling when it works, and it makes me want to patent the idea. I can hear the newsreader now. Man awarded $1 million for sucking an orange.
Nearly gone. Here we are. All better.
A syringe. It's full of the stuff called apomorphine. I generally do this on my sides here. Apomorphine makes you vomit. Well, it does in the beginning if you don't combine it with the right drugs. It gives me enough sort of energy to get to the pump and put it down. Apomorphine is what is known as a dopamine agonist, which simply means it looks like dopamine, but isn't dopamine. It performs like dopamine, but lasts longer. Apomorphine is so strong you can keep it pumping through the system all day, but in a very diluted form. Apomorphine out, shoot the date, use mine, used by yesterday. What happens is that stuff always gets lodged in the lid. Apomorphine also does the same job as Viagra, but that's another documentary. And if there's no one there to roll you over, there's a whole other documentary too. Room service, and to be rolled over. I feel like a pincushion with holes all over my stomach and thighs. I have to put this where there isn't a lump so that it'll work, so that it won't just clog up around the lump, you know, so it'll flow through the brain. It's really hard to find it after nearly 2 or 3 years of using this. 9-volt battery. The pump sends through a steady flow, keeps the day as smooth as possible, irons out the ups and downs, the ons and offs, and it allows me to give myself a boost if my body decides to freeze. Every morning I go through this nightmare of waking up and this rigmarole of getting the drugs ready. There's no rest on Sunday, no time out for good behaviour. I'm hoping the operation will put all this behind me. That's why I'm having the operation. I was always going to another doctor, going to another specialist, having another test or procedure. It felt like all I did was live in waiting rooms and walk down endless corridors and never really get anywhere. CAT scans are an amazing advance in medicine. Only trouble is I get claustrophobia. So just the thought of having to spend 45 minutes crammed inside this metal tube fills me with horror. Another CAT scan. I tried a lot of different things. I did a lot of different people. Dr. Bright hoped that vitamin guy went to him in sort of a routine to cure it, Parkinson's. Not cure it, but deal with it. You know. Went to some mad Russian doctor who sort of said he couldn't cure it, but he could stop it. I went to see one guy who charged me $50 just to look at him. I didn't, it wasn't. I gave him $50 and he was off all the way to the bank. I had investigated some sort of brain operation about 5 years ago. Deep Brain Stimulation was around then, but they weren't doing it here. One operation actually removed some part of the brain. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave everything there, even if it was dead. Deep Brain Stimulation implants 2 electrodes deep into the brain. They're wired up to a pulse generator which sends a slight current of electricity into the thalamus.
The procedure of having the operation is really several hours, starting first thing in the morning, local anaesthetics in your scalp, a frame being attached into the scalp, a ring around your head. It will show up on the CAT scan so that your brain and the scan appear on the one set of pictures. We can actually see the subthalamic nucleus, which is the size of half a peanut. And then we proceed with this. Again, local anaesthetic, little incision on both sides, using the frame, the scaffolding of the frame as guides, go down to this predicted point where we see the target.
I don't think I mentioned that you have to be totally awake through the whole operation so they can check your responses.
Then we've got to put the lead in, we've got to check that that's in the right position with x-rays, fix it in place, do the other side, just another 2 hours.
If the implant procedure works, then there's a second operation to run the lead under the skin to the battery pack generator which is hidden near the collarbone. This generator is then operated by a remote control.
A number of reasons why you're considered a suitable person for an operation. You're very responsive to treatment and always have been. On what is against you having the operation, not much really. You're in the nice for this operation middle-age category. We prefer people like yourself who have Parkinson's at early onset and already in middle age are up to significant problems with it. Secondly, you've got your marbles and likely to maintain them over many years, and so you're going to be able to manage your these switching devices and so on. And I think you've got the wherewithal to get through a long operation under a local anaesthetic. There's always an accidental risk, even with the best hands, of then putting these probes deep in the brain, of hitting some little blood vessel, of a little hemorrhage happening, which might be a tiny hemorrhage of no consequence, but it could be a serious hemorrhage that causes a stroke-like effect or a life-threatening effect.
I think there's about 14,000 people have had the operation, and the majority of those have had good to very good results. So I'm very hopeful.
I've made up my mind, done all the tests, had the haircut, I've passed the audition. I'm ready to go. When they were admitting me, they made a small error and decided I was 73 years old. This was no good. For a start, I'd have to resign from the Young Onset Club, which is not a club you'd want to be a member of. To qualify, you have to get Parkinson's disease when you're under 40. I'm shown to my room with a view. We try to make it seem like it's all quite normal. We get the phone and TV happening, make it feel like home. But underneath all that normality, I'm more scared than I've ever been. The train's going too fast now, it's too late to get off.
And what about for tea? Do you like shepherd's pie or turkey roll and salad?
No,
Shepherd's pie. Mashed potato?
Perfect.
Would you like some pumpkin soup?
Perfect.
Would you like some bread with your soup?
I see this operation as being a major turning point in my life. I have been experiencing the long-term side effects. Those side effects are sort of incredible. For example, you won't believe this, but 2 days ago I bought an air compressor. I blame the drugs for that. The drugs made me do it. I don't need an air compressor, but I bought one anyway. I then had to go and buy a nozzle and a hose for it, for half the cost of the actual machine itself. And anyway, I was very excited to know that I could use it to pump up the tyres, which I'll probably never do. I'll give it to the man next door, perhaps. I feel like a tortoise on its back. I'm not waving, I'm just trying to get off the bed. Tomorrow's the big day. Friends and family can only take you so far. In the end, you're always on your own.
I would probably, yeah. But, my marriage sort of failed, but I would never say that it was just purely the fault of me having Parkinson's disease. It certainly was a contributing factor, I don't maintain any sort of lack of blame in all this. It has come between, it's certainly come between me and Julie, but as far as Lucy and Bonnie are concerned, I think it has come between us a little bit. Not a serious breach or anything. They're still very supportive. But Lucy, for example, has said she doesn't want to come and see me in the hospital, which is okay. I mean, that's all right. But I tell you, if she did turn up, it would fill me with absolute heart with joy, if she just came to see me. Tomorrow's a big day, of course. And by tomorrow night, the sun will be over. So you'll be able to check it out by ringing tomorrow afternoon. All right. Well, I'll be talking to you the next day or so, and we'll go from there. I love you too, Lucy. Thank you very much. Think of me, won't you? Good. It all helps, Big positive vibe. That's an old hippie expression. I'll talk to you later. I love you too. I know. How beautiful our children are. In the course of my marriage to Julie, we had continual sort of arguments about the treatments that I was undergoing. Julie was very much on the side of the Eastern sort of approach, the holistic approach, and me very much on the side of the Western medical science approach. Although there were other elements involved, basically the Parkinson's and my attitude to it and her attitude to it broke our bond.
Well, for a start, Parkinson's affects you physically. So, you know, the physical aspect, the intimate relationship that you have with your wife or girlfriend or whatever is changed, and it doesn't work. You have to sort of adapt and adopt, and, you know, you've got to be very sympathetic to the other person, and vice versa, of course, to make it work, to get through it, you know, and most people don't.
I attended a meeting with a group of people, about 15 of them, 15 to 20 of them, and I realised with sort of a horror that not one of these people were in a relationship. They had been in a relationship. They had been married, one woman had been married for 27 years, and the husband just walked out on her when she knew she had Parkinson's. The single most upsetting feature of this disease is in fact the loss of intimacy. I'm talking about physical intimacy and emotional intimacy, but basically the whole thing of being married to someone. It's not easy to maintain a relationship with someone who's got Parkinson's disease. I mean, in my case, I found that women just aren't attracted to it. It's a bit of a shock to realise they don't like coming near you even when you've got it.
Can't wait. Oh, Peter. Good morning. I work at 2, I work at 3, I work at 4, and then the alarm went off. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't sleep for hours, then I had to get up really early. I'd had no drug relief because I didn't want any masking of the symptoms. So I had about the worst dystonia I'd ever had.
For my watch.
I looked like a complete screaming idiot, and that's exactly how I felt. I wasn't allowed to eat anything, so there was no brain tricking this morning. That orange was off the menu. My mouth was wide open. It was going to stay like that until after the operation. Unless, of course, the operation worked.
There's always an accidental risk, even with the best hands, of been putting these probes deep in the brain, of hitting some little blood vessel, of a little hemorrhage happening, which might be a tiny hemorrhage of no consequence, but it could be a serious hemorrhage that causes a stroke-like effect or a life-threatening effect.
Dr. Peppard phoned me up the night before to reassure me, which I really appreciated.
Mr. Moir, I'm James Rich, I'm the anaesthetist looking after you.
Right, let's go. Bye-bye, darling. We'll just be walking behind you quietly.
Good.
An entourage.
And so we head back down that corridor, but this time I'm just looking at the ceiling, counting the lights flashing by. Trying to be in the moment, trying not to think about where I'm going.
No medications this morning?
Not a sausage.
Long ago, I'd made the decision to surrender to medical science, to put myself in their hands. It was like accepting my fate, like surrendering to God. And then, of course, there's more waiting, and the sound of someone dying in the next room. I felt more like an extra than a leading man. It had never been my ambition to be a bit player in this kind of theatre. You realise that you're way out of your depth. It's not like they're asking for your opinion. Then the crown goes on and it starts to feel very, very real. They inject a local anaesthetic into my head. Then they screw 4 titanium screws into the bone of my skull to fasten the ring.
When we get the scan, you'll see those little dots, little white dots.
Next up was the last CAT scan. I was lucky. The screws in my skull and the raging dystonia meant I forgot all about the chronic claustrophobia I usually experienced inside one of these metal coffins. When they finally dragged me out of that metal cocoon, my face was wound tight as a violin. It was like some silent scream. Get me out of here! But it was too late for that.
You've got some jaw stiffness, have you? Yeah. We've got nice clear pictures there. Yeah. Everything's right on target. Okay, we'll see you up there.
Then it's the last lap. This is it. There's no turning back. Maybe it'll hurt, maybe it won't. Will I be able to deal with it, or will I crack? Will it actually work? Will it all be worthwhile? The operation lasts 5 hours. You lie there staring at the ceiling with your head screwed tight to the bench as they drill holes in your skull and poke around in your brain.
Everything's gone very well.
Oh, that's good.
First of all, he looks fine. Everything's proceeding safely. You could tell even from the immediate effects of the operation, he loosened up a lot. He was very stiff. His hands were
it was shocking
dystonia.
when you took him
His
in.
foot was bent down and in. By the end of the operation, he looked like his medication was
Working. So
medication. Had all marks of a successful operation. They all walked out there. He'll be fine. He'll go well. He'll be great.
My name's Jade, I'll be with us on the ward. We'll just be a minute, Richard was just taking another patient.
It's like dying and going to hell.
It all feels quite surreal, like it's in slow motion. Like you've come back from the other side, but nothing's changed.
Oh, well, if you've got your duty, then you're
I'll just pop him down.
Was it a terrible ordeal, Barry? Yes.
Yes, very good.
Was it not the best? No.
Yeah.
How are you?
Do you remember anything about it?
I remember everything about it.
Oh, right.
The highlights that stand out are the smell and the sound of the brace and bit he used to cut the holes in my head. It sounded like he was cutting into ceramic or something. Then he got a scraper and scraped it out. Every now and then there'd be a hose sucking away at the blood and bone, like at the dentist. Then they poke the wires into the brain. Apparently the brain is very soft and the wires just go through it, and you don't feel a thing. They have this machine where you can actually hear the cells. They can tell when a thalamic cell goes past the electrode, and they get really excited. It's very much like being in deep space, that's what it's like. Then they try it out to see if it works.
And actually, when they had this sort of stimulator on, the stiffness disappeared. Just disappeared. It's gone. So, I spoke to my ex-wife, my children, and they were all for me in a positive way, which is fantastic. And it was great to hear their voices, great to speak to Julie. It really was. No, I'm not just being brave. I'm feeling good. And so we do the next bit tomorrow when he comes in with the equipment to fit to the electrodes and see what happens after that.
They connect me to an external battery pack, and a tiny current of electricity trickles into my brain. The effect is immediate.
And particularly we produced what we want to produce, the most onerous part of your drug treatment. I mean, there are some people who get off the drug treatment altogether, at least for a time. I'm going to be recommending that we go for this impulse generator early in the week, and then you go home. Go home and live.
That's right, yeah.
Go forth and live. do all your normal activities of life and what you want to do, and see how you feel on a certain setting, and we'll adjust it.
So it's all going to plan physically. There's going to be a second operation to implant the battery and put the wires under the skin. But I'm starting to realise that there's a real aftershock. It's like your emotions are in chaos. And you feel guilty because there's been all this effort and you're not cracking jokes about the joy of life.
I don't feel 100% now. I think it's because I've got all these antibiotics swirling around inside me, so they really inject a heap of it in there. I feel slightly frozen, but I'm not frozen at all.
When you first became aware of it, what sort of things came up in you in terms of feelings?
To be perfectly honest with you, I think I was probably pleased. I think I was pleased that I had it. I don't know why. It made me sort of someone else, or gave me an excuse for past failures. I'm being as honest as I can here. It was a way out of commitment and explaining the fact that my marriage wasn't working out too well. I think I used it as an excuse.
You're certainly much happier today. Really got your sense of humour back.
It's lurking there, my sense of humour. Lurking in the background, underneath a lot of other things. But at least I know it's still there. I sat there smoking for several hours, you know, without having to have anything. I didn't need the apomorphine, I didn't need any cinnamon, anything. I just was able to sit there. That seems to be the way now. Feeling a lot better in myself too.
It's really nice to see you being stupid instead of pathetic.
You don't think it's been pathetic?
No.
I haven't had my medication for this afternoon. What do you mean you can see that? But yeah, I am positive. But at the same time, I do have some very negative periods, which you prefer not people didn't see. I find myself getting incredibly depressed to the point where, I'm so depressed I can't move, But depression is it's like with any disease that anyone has. Depression is usually a part of it. It's quite pronounced with these sort of neurological things.
So you're feeling a bit of anxiety about tomorrow again?
Yeah, I am. Not because I'm sort of mentally afraid. It's just my body sort of is reacting to it. I'm not based obviously I am mentally afraid, but I keep thinking that I'm not going to make it through this operation. And I know that's ridiculous, but it just keeps coming back to me.
We'll see you tomorrow.
He's walking us to the door.
Give it to the wife.
The birthdays are on the 30th and 31st. I think they're having a party, probably two parties. And it's my real aim to be able to sort of walk into those parties and be sort of just a normal person. It would give me the greatest pleasure to be able to just say, hi girls, how are you? I'm not moving, I'm under control and fine. That's the name of it. It would be tremendous if I could do that.
You try to focus on what's really important. You try to narrow it down to bite-sized chunks. You think about your family, you think about the people you love. You keep telling yourself the doctors know what they're doing. They've done it thousands of times. You have to have faith. But always there's that little voice. Things can go wrong.
All the best.
Thank you.
And we'll see you when you get back.
Okay.
I'll see you tonight.
Good day. I look forward to it.
I'll make your mother come.
Beautiful.
But there's nothing to worry about. They ask you to count down from 10. I got all the way down to 9. I was looking at the lines in the ceiling, and I woke up looking at the lights in another room.
Was it very terrible?
No, not really.
No. Wasn't as bad as last week.
No, not really bad.
It's nice having that shot and waking up in another room, isn't it?
Amazing.
That's
I
good.
remember going out to it.
Not Peppard today.
Didn't see him, I didn't see any doctors actually.
No.
I think the nurse probably did this.
I recovered fairly quickly from the second operation, and I was starting to feel like an old hand.
This used to be a briefcase-sized thing.
The big day arrived when Dr. Peppard came around to literally turn me on. Finally we'd see if they'd hit the sweet spot, if the wires were connected, if it actually worked. It was adjusting the voltage as if I were a machine, winding me up and bringing it down.
A little bit. You tell me if you get any tingling or problems.
Still can't really tell.
Do you feel something? I'll turn it up until we do feel something. Show this life in that battery. No tingling. The dizziness settling. Still there.
Yeah.
Should back off. Is the dizziness settling now? At this stage, you see, it's not very rewarding because you can't see very much difference whether it's switched on or off, because there's so much effect just from having the wire in place. There's an on switch and an off switch. The one with the little radiating lines means on power is coming up, and it's the silent power. So you press it like that, on, like that, off.
And he thinks he's going home, is that?
I think that'll be the case, yeah. It's usually around about today or...
He set it higher than previously, and I think Richard probably thinks it's a bit high, but he's not saying that.
How does it feel any different?
I got it.
Oh, that's good, because I wasn't sure whether it was working or not.
It's working.
It's working. Oh, good.
So when he turned the machine up, what changed or what felt different? Or?
I feel relaxed, much easier myself. Feel better about it. I'm not sort of capable of making too many sentences. I know that's something that's going to pass. Probably is. But God, I'm happy.
He found that part, but he didn't read the rest. Strong electrical and magnetic fields, such as those produced by theft detectors or some industrial equipment, can interfere with the proper functioning of your pulse generator. This can unexpectedly turn your pulse generator on or off, or cause uncomfortable stimulation, a jolt or shock.
I'd reached the top of the mountain. Getting there was one thing, but making it work was going to be a real roller coaster ride. After 2 weeks in my room with a view, I was on my way home. I felt young again. I came in at 73 and went out at 55. The doctors and nurses had been amazing, especially all those beautiful nurses. It's the nurses who keep it all going, of course. And the doctors, it's quite incredible to think that they could actually put this thing deep into my brain. At least now I knew I had a brain. Back down that corridor, feeling like it had been forever, when really it had been just a blink of the eye. Like when you come back from overseas all excited, only to find that nothing's changed. ordeal of the operation was so profound that a sense of anticlimax began to hover over me. You're back home in the suburbs being a normal bloke, but you feel as if you've been to another planet, as if you've been through a life-altering ordeal and you'll never be the same again.
It's now 2 weeks since I had the operation, and I stride across the bridge of life with confidence. This is this little camera here. I've taken a shine to this because it means that my hand is steady enough to actually use it and take pictures. And it's a pretty strong ordeal to go through from my point of view. I hadn't really ever had anything wrong with me in terms of hospitals and so on. But the operation itself, it produced a lot of things in me. It sort of made me realise how frightened I was of certain things, and how now that I'm not. And it gave me strength in the end. It was that old Nietzsche saying, that which doesn't destroy me only strengthens me. It's been a slow process, well, slow as far as my expectations were concerned. I'd seen these documentaries where the patient sort of jumps up off the operating table and runs out into the corridor and streaks home, you know. Of course, it's not like that. It's a much more conservative and careful project than that. And the doctors tell me that, you know, you give it 2 months or so, whereas I, in my mind, had sort of given it that day, you know. I can get through a freezing period. I can actually sort of just, it's not easy, but it's working. It's allowed me to stop taking the apomorphine, which I used to inject into myself all the time. I've been able to take that off and throw it away. So just for that result alone, it's been fantastic. My girls didn't come and visit me in hospital, which I was sad about in a way, but I understand why they didn't, and but it would have been good if they'd broken through the barriers that we'd all put up against them coming in, and they'd just come in because they wanted to, but somehow that didn't happen. But anyway, that's all right. I still love them as much as I ever did, and I forgive them as I hope they've forgiven me.
Then gradually, over the next month, a dark cloud of gloom rolled in over my world. It was like I had to unwind from the years of anxiety in the build-up to the operation.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy the way the operation's been. I'm not that happy with the way it's performing yet, but that's probably because it's early days. And I have to go and see Dr. Pepper in a short time and get him to fix it up so that it works properly. But at the moment, every sort of 2 or 3 hours, I just crash out. Turn into a zombie again, you know. Just drains you totally of everything. You lose your willpower, which is, I fight for that all the time. So, yeah, I mean, I'm reaching a point now where if this bloody thing doesn't work, what'll I do, you know? What the fuck will I do? Get the wires taken out immediately? Get this thing taken out? What'll happen?
You see it as, say, a punishment from God, or that you've been a sinner, or that it was some people refer to this idea of a wake-up call?
As Bob Dylan once said, he said, it all comes from God, you know, and the whole thing is sort of, I believe it totally. It's a gift in a sense, and certainly a wake-up call. But I didn't ever see it as a punishment. A good kick in the arse is what it was. It brought out a lot of guilt and shame and rejection and bitterness and loneliness and all those things. Isolation, I felt, you know, at various times you feel all these things when this sort of thing happens. Depression is very much a part of it.
But I think 3 months is long enough. Should be working by now. But maybe it is. I'm bad now, in about 10 minutes or so, probably won't be. Just to do something to do with my voice. I'm having great difficulty now putting words together. The quality and the timbre of my voice is changing. They say this is a common problem with these operations. Your voice, you have to do difficulty with your voice. It's like that doesn't seem to be easing up. I'm going to have to go and do some speech therapy this afternoon. But it's becoming very unpredictable, this thing. I don't know what's going on with it. It's not nearly the sort of... Also these ridges where the cabling is and everything, you get hot and it's nearly span when the thing's on. I've been able to sort of convince the doctor that this happens. I don't know the answer is to turn the thing up or turn it down. It was I fluctuate, as you probably know, between one thing and the other, as we all do, I guess. We all have faith and doubts about everything.
As I headed down the drive to see Dr. Pfeffard, the way I used to be was like a distant memory. I was so caught up in where I was at now, I'd forgotten how far I'd come.
I'm feeling pretty lousy, actually. It's probably a good idea to go and see Pfeffard in this state. You can see exactly where I'm right. It's only a snapshot they get of you anyway, so this will be a better snapshot than me being okay buoyed up by the tablets, I think. I feel as though my energy level is just totally depleted. My energy is gone.
How are things going overall?
Overall, not too bad. I'm down at the moment because you suggested I'd be down at this time. I sometimes think, is this thing working as well as we want to work? I haven't actually taken it up as high. I've taken it once up as high as the upper limit you set last time.
So do you think you're just anxious about having it a little bit higher, or is there some sort of feeling that you have when it's a bit higher?
I think it's probably anxiety.
Oh, let's do something more.
Okay.
We'll just take it up another little increment.
Right.
I'll take each side up to about to the top of where you could go before.
Okay.
So you can go back to where it's sitting on now.
He wound me up higher than I'd ever been before.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
Do you feel any different?
Yeah, I feel okay.
I felt a lot better, but I still couldn't see how far I'd come. 6 months ago, my hand seemed to hover, limp and frozen.
Stand up.
I stood up with such ease, where once it had been a mighty struggle. I crossed that room like any normal person, going for a stroll.
Been pretty miserable a couple of months ago if you did that. So you're at the top of a new range. You've got only to be, do not be afraid.
So there it was, 4 simple words. Do not be afraid.
Well, I certainly didn't see it as courage. It just seemed to be the only thing I could do. I was sick of putting the pump into the system. I was sick of that drug. And eventually this was the only thing left, really, that I could do to try and improve things. Because it may only get worse. I tell you what, the operation was the most frightening thing I've ever been through in my life, and the most sort of demanding thing that I've ever experienced. And I figure that if I can get through that, I can get through anything, including death, you know.
So you talked before the operation about how you were hoping to run into your kid's birthday party.
I wasn't invited. So I didn't gatecrash them. I would have loved to have been invited, but I wasn't. Just because they were sort of just friends, really. Well, Bonnie's friends and Lucy's friends. But that's just fine. A long time ago, Esben asked me how I was, and I replied like this. I said, well, I've got an incurable disease. I'm out of work, I'm unemployable. My marriage has failed. I've lost contact with my children. But apart from that, I'm fine. Anyway, be that as it may, we're here now. The device is working. It will work better in due course. And I think I'm going to be okay. In fact, I know I'm going to be okay. And one more point is, I am okay.